Boelter Jones, Pro Football Hall of Famer, top 100.
Tyler Lockett from the Seattle Seahawks.
DK Metcalf from
Hey Burleson, you're watching NorbCam.
NorbCam.
You're watching NorbCam.
What's up, everybody? This is NorbCam coming at you here live on YouTube for our usual Wednesday afternoon chit-chat, talking a little Seahawks, a little 49ers today, maybe a little bit of NFL news sprinkled in there, but of course, trivia contest number 10, an opportunity for one of you very clever viewers out there to have a chance to either co-host the show or win some pretty cool NorbCam swag. So I'm excited about this one, and I'm particularly, I don't know if I'm excited or nervous, apprehensive, regretful, not sure about it, but we've got somebody co-hosting today who is not of the Seahawks allegiance. You're going to find out who that is momentarily, but just before we get into it, just want to remind everybody, if you guys like what we're doing here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, like this video, and yes, chat, comment in. Super chats are always great to get my attention and our panel's attentions to talk about questions you might have, comments. And again, we're talking Seahawks 49ers. So I want to bring my weekly panel in today. A few new face in here, the winner of last week's trivia, and I'm going to bring the panel on right now. Here we go. What's up? Here is our panel. Let me get the make sure their audio is up. There we go. So let me start with the usual suspects. We've got up in the top right, we've got Noah the Boelter. Welcome back, Noah. We missed you last time. How you doing, man?
Appreciate you, man. Missed you guys too.
All right, and then of course we got Calvin Domingo at Steezy Way down in the bottom right corner. How you doing today, Cal?
I'm doing wonderful. Just got off of work. Ready to talk some football.
All righty. And to my left, with a head bigger than my own right now, we have the winner of last week's trivia, a regular on the NorbCam shows. Yes, believe it or not, we have a 49er fan in the house. This is Rohan. You guys know him if you've been watching my shows. You know who Rohan is. The most, how do I say it? The most even-tempered 49er fan I've probably ever met. Rohan, congratulations on winning the trivia contest last week, and welcome to being on the show, co-hosting with NorbCam. You have the honor of being the first ever 49er fan to co-host this show. How does that make you feel, man?
Yeah, it's an honor. I'm surprised it hasn't happened sooner. Like, you've been doing this for, let's see, 2020 so you've been doing this for 5 or 6 years now. It's surprising that in all this time you've had co-hosts of teams like the Patriots and the Saints and all that, but you haven't had a 49ers co-host.
Yeah, that's true. Well, what have I, chopped meat? Chopped liver? Come on now. Well, of course, Chris Osmo aside, Rohan, but you have been on the show many times, called in on many occasions to talk Seahawks 49ers, and we're going to do that again today. I do want to get into what's going on 49ers with some developing news over the last couple of days, adding more to the rivalry, which is quickly on the rise. But before we get into that, Noah missed the show last week where we were talking about which of the Seahawks running backs were going to have the better season in 2020. And I want to give you a chance to talk about that because you were absent. So I want to get your thoughts on Chris Carson versus Carlos Hyde. Both running backs had very close, similar types of stats in terms of yards per carry, almost actually the exact 4.4 yards per carry average. Carson had 7 touchdowns. Carlos Hyde had 6. Give me your breakdown here as far as what do you think is going to happen? It's pretty much a 1-2 combination competition between Carlos Hyde and Chris Carson. Give me your hot take on which of these running backs is going to have the better season.
Yeah, I know we're going to get into the statistics in a minute, but just to get an idea of how the load is going to be shared in the backfield, I have Chris Carson getting 165 carries, whereas I have Carlos Hyde getting 130. So I think it's going to be a lot closer than maybe some people might think. I think we start to wean away from Carson as he heads into a contract season, and I think Seattle's preparing to move on from him. But I also think Carson keeps up pretty much the same level of production. If he doesn't, it's because our offensive line is in shambles this year, and I still think Carson is our primary back ahead of Carlos Hyde. They are very similar, as you said, Norb, and because of that, I think you got to go with the hometown guy in Carson.
Okay, so in the big picture, he puts the nod to Carson. Well, let's talk a little bit about the details of how he does it. Wolfset45 in the Super Chat says, with the injuries to Carson and Penny last year, could you see the Seahawks calling the Vikings about Dalvin Cook? I could see them calling them about him, but is he even at play? Calvin, you're shaking your head over there. I'm kind of shaking it myself. I mean, that would be a kind of a nice dream scenario where you could just sort of call and say, hey, can I have your guy, one of the best players on your team? Would you mind just giving it to us? I don't know. Calvin, your thoughts on that? Is that crazy, or is that, in the world of possibilities, a possibility?
I mean, obviously he's a very talented running back. He's one of the best in football. He just can't seem to stay healthy. And now for some reason he's asking for Christian McCaffrey type money. And so even if we were to trade for him, he wouldn't play for us because there's no way we're getting him $16 million a year. I don't even think we'd give him 14, not even 13, even 12, even 11, even 10. And so there's just no way he plays in Seattle. Yeah, we could call the Vikings about him. Maybe we could offer like a third or fourth round pick. But if he's unwilling to budge down on that $16 million annual asking price, there's just no way we should bring him in, because if we bring him in, he's not even going to want to play for us. And so he's more of a luxury at this point. Carlos Hyde, I'm happy with Carlos Hyde. Chris Carson, he is injury prone. He is recovering from surgery. He is in a contract year, but he's still, I think, a top 10 running back. And DJ Dallas, he's still there. I think we got enough guys, and so we don't need Dalvin Cook.
Rohan, your thoughts on this? The thoughts of Dalvin Cook.
You guys probably couldn't even afford him, if we're being honest. If you guys were to bring in Dalvin Cook, who was probably the only reason the Vikings even made it as far as they did last year, you guys wouldn't be able to pay anyone else on your team. Like, Shaquille Griffin would be out the door if you were to bring in Dalvin Cook. KJ Wright is probably like halfway out the door already. He'll be gone for sure. Yeah, you can't have too many max contracts on your team. That's why I feel like Dalvin Cook would be inconceivable.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me go back to it. Let's put this running back discussion to bed. I think we already have pretty much decided that Chris Carson is going to be the man. But let's just kind of just break down a few numbers here. So back to you. Your take, Noah. Chris Carson played 15 games last year. Carlos Hyde 16. How does the numbers play out this year?
I think each of them play one less game than they did last year. I think there's going to be like a tic-tac kind of knick-knack kind of injury. I don't think they miss a tremendous amount of time, but I do think our offensive line is in shambles, and because of that, they're going to be taking a lot of hits that they might not see coming and that weren't schemed up in our offense. So I think they both miss probably one more game, but I don't think it affects their productivity on the field. Okay.
Let's talk about rushing yards. 1,230 for Carson last year. Carlos Hyde 1,070. Over or under for these guys?
Oh, they're both going to be under for me. I have Chris Carson only getting about 710 carries, 710 yards next season, and Carlos Hyde I have getting 600. So I think the yards are going to be very close. I think the carries are going to be very close. And I actually calculated out how many yards they would get based on how many carries I have them getting times my yards per carry. I think both of their yards per carry goes down by a small fraction based on the fact that Seattle's offensive line is going to be tough. Or excuse me, I have it going down for Chris Carson, but not for Carlos Hyde, because even though our offensive line got a little bit worse, it's still better than Houston. So I have Carlos Hyde's going up, whereas I have Chris Carson's going down.
Okay, and so the yards average per carry goes down for Carson, but Carlos Hyde actually takes maybe a tick up. How about protecting the football? 7 fumbles for Carson, 6 for Carlos Hyde. Who protects the ball better?
I like to think that they both have one less fumble, at least. I think Carson has 2 less. I think Carlos Hyde has 1 less. Reason being, obviously, it's going to be a huge focal point, and he can't be close to anyone else right now, so what better to do than hold on to the football real tight? I think Chris Carson has plenty of time to work on his handling of the football. And I think due to the lack of carries individually for each of these two guys, I think because they're sharing the backfield and it's going to be so competitive, they're going to be even more focused on protecting the football, because when you turn the ball over, that's when it's the other guy's turn. So I think they're going to be locked in, and I think they're going to be focused. I think Chris Carson has 2 less, so a total of 4. And I think Carlos Hyde has 1 less, so a total of 3.
Okay, and I did read that stat wrong. It was 7 fumbles for Carson and 4 for Carlos Hyde. So Carlos Hyde a little bit better protecting the football. Hopefully they both do protect it more than as you predict they will. So touchdowns, Carson had 7, Carlos Hyde had 6. Who scores the more points here between the two?
Carson's going to have more touchdowns. He's more physical, and when in doubt, you give it to the guy that you know. Chris Carson loves to fight in those goal line situations, and he has a true knack for finding his way into the end zone. So I definitely think Carson has the edge here, but I think it's close. I think Carson gets 6. I think Hyde gets 5.
Okay. All right. So it'll be close competition, and but I think Carson seems to be the unanimous feeling that he's going to edge it out. And, well, we just hope that he'll be available come playoff time, should we make the playoffs. And that's going to have a lot to do with the next discussion that we have right here. I want to transition into this discussion that is in the headline of this. Who wins the NFC West, the Hawks or the 49ers? I kind of changed this topic of conversation, brought it up for a couple of reasons. One, because there was some recent news about the 49ers coaching situation, and that it was the 6-year extension given to Kyle Shanahan. So Shanahan's going to be calling the shots for another 6 seasons. He might be there longer, and who knows? We may have a different head coach by the time his contract's up, depending on how long Pete Carroll decides to coach. But I want to ask, since we got Rohan here for our resident 49er fan, again, who did win the trivia contest. I need to back up before I get into the nitty-gritty about this. Rohan, I didn't get a chance to even ask you a little bit more about you. We talked a little bit about you've been on the show, regular caller of the program. But how is it that you even found your way as a 49er fan? How the heck did you end up even on my channel? What are you doing trolling me, man, and participating in these Seahawks trivia contests? What the F, man? What are you doing here in the first place, man?
I came here for the same reason that 90% of your viewers came here, and that's because of your Super Bowl 49 video.
Oh, so the sadistic nature of watching other people suffer was what brought you here. But what kept you here? Because you could have just watched that video over and over again, yet you decided to hang out and have conversations and chat to talk about Seahawks 49ers. Why did you stick around all these years to become part of this? And now here you are. By God, what am I doing? Having a 49er fan helping co-host this show. What kept you around?
The music videos. That's kind of the main reason why that's kind of the main reason I watched more than one of your videos. And also the Rivals videos. The 49ers one wasn't even the first Rivals video that I watched, if I'm being honest. I really enjoyed those ones too. I remember when you did those Lego videos.
Oh yeah, I had a lot of fun with the Lego videos with Kaepernick and Wilson. Those were the days, man. They were so much fun. Now things have changed so much since then. Jeremy Goebel in the super chat. Crisosimo 2.0 is back in the house. LOL. I don't know if he's talking about you or he's just talking about me. I'm still 1.0, still going. So get out of here with that 2.0 business. I'm only 1.0. All right. Let's talk about some 49ers stuff here. So what was your reaction to the extension given to Kyle Shanahan? Are you excited to be having him here for another 6 years?
Yeah, absolutely. Mainly because I haven't, as a 49ers fan, I haven't had much continuity with head coaches. Shanahan is literally the 6th one I've seen, and I've been a fan for 12 years. So on average, the 49ers are switching head coaches every other year. So to see a head coach get an extension like that means I don't have to worry about the hot seat and all that for once. Now I'm just waiting on John Lynch's deal. My guess with him is he's probably going to get promoted to another position while someone else becomes general manager, but only time will tell for that part. Back to Shanahan. Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I know that he has his history with Super Bowls and blown leads and all that, but that's minor. I mean, if not for him, the 49ers aren't nearly as good a team as they are today. So, Great news.
Definitely a well-earned contract. I don't think there's much debate about that. Dukes of Hazzard in the super chat. Rohan, low-key Seattle fan, get him some merch. Yeah, absolutely. We need to get you wearing some. Got to make it a requirement to be wearing that to be on the show, man. All right, so I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about the coaching aspect from you guys, unless you guys have a perspective to offer there, Noah or Calvin. But I think it's pretty obvious they've found the coach that's going to be there for a while, for a long while, as it turns out. I guess my only reaction to that is, dang, man. I mean, it's going to be a tough rivalry for many seasons to come. And we enjoyed the years where the 49ers were kind of the doormat of the NFC West from about 2014 to last year, basically. But those days are over, and I think it's going to be a pretty fierce rivalry moving forward. Calvin, you agree?
Oh, yes, sir. If anything, I love it. I think as fans, we should all love it just because, every single time these two play, which is, twice a year at the minimum, we know we're in for a game. Like last season, week 10, we were all there with you at the watch party. It was down on the wire overtime. Every single game between us is going to be a nail biter. Even the Week 17 game last year, it came down to literally centimeters. And so,
it wasn't that close. Give it 4 inches, 5 inches, maybe.
Well, you could convert that to centimeters, and it would still be a pretty small number. So, watch your mouth, Rohan.
Hey, we're talking less than a yard.
10, 11, 12 centimeters, somewhere in that range.
It's still measurable in centimeters. All right.
It was closer than the ball was to Emmanuel in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Oh,
true.
That's right. That is right.
Closer than the 1 yard line. That's for sure.
Well, we can joke all we want about that old tired 1 yard line joke, can't we? But I got a couple super chats I got to acknowledge over here. Nick LeBeau says everyone in the chat say aye if you want Norb to bring back rivals for the 2020 season. Aye. I'm all in, man. Let's make it happen. Wolfset45 says, do you think there will be fans at games this season? I already bought tickets to the 49ers Seahawks game, and I have to fly from New York to Seattle. Wow. You made the commitment, which I don't know if you're going to be able to. Well, we'll see. I mean, that's December, so a lot of things can change in a period of 6 months. As Rohan said, the division could come to that game, but will we have 68, 69,000 strong in the stands for someone like you from New York to see it? I don't know, but you can always fly here and, we'll watch the game together somewhere if you can't get into the stadium, man, because who knows? I don't even know if I'm going to be in the stadium. I hope so, because they should give precedence to the guys who've been there the longest. I've been there for a while, so, I think I deserve that. Dukes of Hazzard said Rohan has been muted. No, I don't think so. He just stopped talking, which is good. Okay, I got sidetracked with all these super chats. Thank you for the super chats, though. Appreciate it. What were we talking about? I think we were talking about Shanahan. We were talking about the 1 yard line, that old joke. Well, let's get into it. Let's get into it now. So here we are, all the stuff in the past aside, all 1 yard line jokes aside, centimeters and all that stuff. Here we are in 2020, in a weird, bizarre season where so many things are up in the air. But what we do know, if they do in fact play these games and we get down to the wire, I think it's going to come down to another nail biter between the Seahawks and the 49ers. And I do think it's going to be a tight NFC West, even tighter now with the Cardinals taking steps to really improve their team. But it's probably going to come down to who wins that series. So you can almost put the NFC West as a 2-game deal. Last year, we split games. We beat the Niners in San Francisco. They beat us up here in the last game. They had the edge just enough to take the NFC West from us. So I think it comes down to those 2 games, and let's talk about those 2 games. Let's just put them right here, that the NFC West will probably ride on which team sweeps. I think it's going to take sweeping the other team. To be honest, I don't think the split will do it. That's too much to risk. I think you got to sweep the other team to make this thing happen. So let's start with, let me go to Noah. Tell me why the Seahawks are going to come out on top this year in such a tight race. What gives them the edge?
What gives Seattle the edge? Well, you look at teams that have lost the Super Bowl, and outside of New England, the last team to even make the playoffs after losing the Super Bowl was that team right there, the Seattle Seahawks. Before that, the San Francisco 49ers did the year before, but that's when the Seahawks knocked them out of the playoffs in the championship game and won the Super Bowl, which the Niners didn't do. But so Seattle right now is in a position where we have a chance to strike back at San Francisco for what San Francisco did to us same time last year, but we're going to do it this year in their house. We won the last game in San Francisco. It's going to be a great game. I think it gets flexed to prime time. I think Seattle this year has a whole bunch of pieces coming back that we didn't have last time we fought you guys, and it came down to those centimeters that we were just talking about. So I understand that injuries are going to be a part of the game. There are going to be injured parties on both sides. But barring a major injury, I think Seattle has made the moves this offseason to upgrade, whereas San Francisco's kind of stayed the same. When you're talking about a team with a Kyle Shanahan, I didn't really talk about the extension, but I think the Shanahan extension, Shanahan has a limit, and what that limit is clearly until he wins the Super Bowl, he's got a lot to prove because he's thrown away 2 of them already. And you look at the quarterback, Jimmy G's not blowing anyone's pants away. So I think both the quarterback and the head coach are the reason, part of the reason that San Francisco is going to be facing an uphill battle this year with Seattle. I think Seattle wins head coach and quarterback battle in that sense. So I think Seattle has made moves this offseason. If Quentin Dunbar's there, I think it's a done deal for Seattle.
That's a big if about the Quentin Dunbar situation. Yeah. We'll have to see how that all plays out. One of the more bizarre storylines in this very bizarre 2020. Rohan, I'll give you a chance to respond. Why do the 49ers win the NFC West battle and try to hold on to that crown this year? What gives them the edge to take it back again and hold on to that NFC West crown from Seattle?
They're the better team. Unlike in 2013, the 49ers don't have any management issues this time around. Their GM and head coach are on the same page, which is nice. Jesus, Harbaugh and bulky. Also, the 49ers operate in a way that is best suited for the modern NFL. Seattle, you guys... I feel like what you guys do is that you tell your players, okay, here's our playbook from 2013. You guys are going to run this because it worked in 2013. Doesn't exactly work that way, which is why you guys are always relying on Russell Wilson to bail you guys out. If anything, you guys are the 2018 Cavaliers, and Russell Wilson is your LeBron James. The 49ers are a much more well-rounded team, and they could have swept you guys in both games last year, just as you guys feel like the opposite could have happened. Yeah, that's kind of the main reason why. Gosh, these crows are so annoying. Okay.
That's what those birds can do to the 49ers and 49ers fans. No. We annoy the heck out of you by taking wins away from you guys and getting into your skin. So the Seahawks plan to be annoying. The Seahawks plan to be annoying to you guys.
There are literally 2 crows sitting right across from me.
Oh, I know you're talking about the crows down there. But you're talking figuratively. I'm talking reality. We are going to get under your skin and be a pain in a sore spot a thorn in your side this year. At least that's the hope. I'm going to go to Calvin now. Calvin, tell me your take as to why the Seahawks are going to take back the NFC West for the Niners this year.
Well, first of all, I want to address something I seen in the chat. Green Mobster, you said the 49ers didn't get worse. I completely disagree. First of all, on defense, you guys lost DeForest Buckner. Basically, you guys traded him for an incoming rookie in what's his name? Kinlaw. And so that's a significant downgrade. I don't care how much potential Kinlaw has. He's a rookie, and he had a lot of injury issues in college. So first, you have to count on him being healthy. DeForest Buckner was a second-team All-Pro last season. You don't just replace him with a rookie and expect your defense to remain on the same level. I understand you guys have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 first-rounders on defense who can all get after the quarterback. But after the season that they had last season in rushing the passer, I don't think that they're able to sustain that with a rookie like Javon Kinlaw in the middle. Not to say that he doesn't have any potential, just that he won't be able to replicate the impact, the 2019 second-team All-Pro type impact that DeForest Buckner had on the defense last season. Also, you look on offense. You lost Emmanuel Sanders. You have an incoming rookie in Brandon Ayuk coming in. Rookie receivers, when it comes to rookie receivers, they're usually the rookies that struggle the most because they have to adapt to a new playbook, the speed, everything is so much different when you compare college receivers and NFL receivers. And so I don't expect Brandon Ayuk to come in and provide the type of impact that Emmanuel Sanders had last season as the number one receiver on offense. And so I think there's going to be some growing pains there. You guys did upgrade on the offensive line. I do got to admit, Trent Williams, he's a massive upgrade over Joe Staley, who was kind of, I could see why he retired at the beginning of this offseason, just because his play was steady declining last season. And so you guys definitely upgraded on the offensive line. But what you guys don't have this season is that unpredictability factor. Last season was Kyle Shanahan's first full season having everyone healthy. Jimmy G was healthy. All the running backs were healthy. I don't think he's going to have that unpredictability factor heading into next season. I don't think that teams are going to be thrown off guard by his zone scheme or any of his running schemes. Last season was also Jimmy G's first full season as a starter. I don't think that he's going to have that type of impact that he had last season. I thought he played pretty well. 27 touchdowns, about 13 picks. His completion percentage was about 69%. I think this offseason, teams are, looking at film. He's not going to do what he did last season. And so you look at the fact that your guys' defense got worse. Richard Sherman's a year older. He showed signs of slowing down in the Super Bowl last season, getting burned by Sammy Watkins. So he's a year older. He's going to be slower. He's not going to be as good. And your guys' main issue with the defense is the secondary. You guys didn't do too much to address that this offseason. Your guys' offense got worse. Offensive line got better, but as a whole, offense is going to take a step back. And the next season, Rohan, you're right. The 49ers still have a better team all around, but I think that having Russell Wilson and having an explosive offense like we're going to have next season, I think that'll be one of the reasons why we end up winning the division. It's also hard to kind of imagine having all three of your running backs, having all three of your tight ends getting injured towards the end of the season. And so barring injury, we have a major advantage at quarterback. I think we have a slight advantage at head coach. We're going to have a more explosive offense. And we finished next to last in sacks last season. We have nowhere to go but up. Even if Clowney doesn't come back, we should still look to sign a guy like Everson Griffin, trade for Yannick Ngakoue. There's still options on the table. And so our secondary got better as well. Quentin Dunbar, we all hope he plays. But even if he isn't there, our secondary still did get better. Quandre Diggs has a full offseason to work with Seattle DBs and the rest of the team. He looked like the real enforcer over there when he got traded mid-season. You could feel the impact that he had on our defense, and we didn't even have Quentin Dunbar. And so whether or not Quentin Dunbar comes back, our secondary will be improved regardless. I think our offensive line actually did get better. Damian Lewis, he's a fresh face at right guard. He's coming over from the national champions at LSU. He wants to be in Seattle. He's everything that we look for in our offensive linemen. We upgraded at center. We're not going to have Joey Hunt play at center. Right tackle, we had the worst right tackle in football at Jermaine Ifedi. There's nowhere to go but on the right tackle side of things. Greg Olsen, still one of the best tight ends in football if he's able to stay healthy. Will Dissly has the potential to be one of the best tight ends in football. DK Metcalf has superstar written all over him. I can go on and on, but Seattle's going to go 12-4. San Fran's going 11-5. I think it's our turn. We haven't won the division in like 4 or 5 years. I think this is the year we take it.
Oh, I could have said it better myself, man. Very well articulated, well prepared argument. I couldn't help but laugh, man. Those birds, I'm just waiting for a big bird crap to land on your head, man. They're like circling you. They got the bullseye in your head, just like the 49ers are going to have the bullseye on their back next year, and someone's going to take a crap on them if it doesn't happen to you first. I'm just hoping that'll happen on camera because that'll be YouTube gold.
Oh, you think that was the worst part? A stray cat just came up to me and dropped a dead squirrel in front of me.
Show me. Let me see.
All right, I don't know where the cat went, but
where's the squirrel? Let's see the dead squirrel.
Is this even? This.
That's the 49ers. That's the 49ers right there. After we take the NFC West crown from you, as those birds circle, ready to take a dump on you, man. Oh man,
they ain't directly over my head. They're chilling in front of me.
Close enough, man. Making a lot of noise. They're making so much noise. Calvin can barely be heard over those loud birds. But it's going to be like, hopefully, how it'll be when you come up here. Although we'll see if the coronavirus has anything to say about it. I just wanted to acknowledge some super chats that were still going on. Jamonis. I enjoy your vids. I'm both a Saints and a Hawks fan. I don't know how that works. I never understood how people can be fans of two teams. So when you watched the Seahawks and the Saints last year, and something good and bad happens, are you just cheering the whole time because it's good on both sides? I never understood how that works. Yay, we won! Yay, they lost! I don't know. I don't get it. But I'm glad you're a Hawks fan. We always appreciate it. Wolfset45 says, should the Seahawks sign Lynch as a fullback? I've heard that argument before. We'll ponder that question in I don't know in this show, but maybe at a later point. That's an interesting one. Lynch as a fullback. Another super chat here. Dukes of Hazzard says, Rohan, those are Seahawks getting ready to let her rip down on you. Keep looking up. That's what I'm saying, man. It's coming. They're circling. I would just add to this because I think, Cal, you said it all as far as just kind of breaking it down pound for pound. But for me, I'm going to go in more an abstract view, which is something that Noah said. And I'm a big believer in that Super Bowl hangover. And Kyle Shanahan, while as many things he's done to turn this franchise around and all the good things and earning that 6-year contract, he does have those 2 major things under his belt, which is 2 trips to the Super Bowl, 2 major choke jobs, the biggest one in Super Bowl history, and now the second one, not as big, but just as big as far as the 49ers are concerned. And we got Team Triple G Mono, the other 49er fan, the not quite as calm and passive version, says nothing. He just has a bunch of faces in there. Sleeping face and laughing, tears of joy. It's pretty funny, but always appreciate Team Triple G Mono. I welcome all fans in here, even those of our hated rivals. But going back to my point, the Super Bowl hangover, I think, is a real thing. So if you got Shanahan with that second now Super Bowl blunder, which he's going to have to keep reliving those every time another Super Bowl or championship story comes along. Anytime they have the lead, no lead is safe when Kyle Shanahan is coaching until he proves those and exercises those demons. That's a lot to hang on to there and get rid of, and that won't happen until the next time they get there, and we hopefully Seattle will stand in the way of that. On top of that, I do think the biggest probably factor in all this is going to be Seahawks defense against George Kittle. You guys didn't really talk about George Kittle. George Kittle trying to be the highest paid tight end possibly in all of history. Not to say that he hasn't earned it. I think we all talked about him and on the show before that George Kittle is probably one of the best, if not the best tight end in the league right now. And I think the contract is still yet to be settled. Am I right, Rohan? Guys, Kittle has not been, they haven't finalized that situation, still in up in the air, right? So that has yet to be determined, but I think they'll get it done. But how the 49ers offense goes, I think goes with what George Kittle does. Because I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo is, unlike Russell Wilson, who, when things get going, he puts the game on his shoulders and he can carry the team. I think George Kittle's got to carry the offense. Jimmy Garoppolo cannot. So if Kittle has a great season, if he plays well against both games against Seattle, it's going to be trouble for us. But if we find a way to shut him down, keep him to a minimum impact, you can't shut him down completely, but we can minimize his impact and force Garoppolo to throw to other guys, or I should say overthrow to other guys, we'll be in better situation and a chance to take the NFC West and sweep the Niners. But I think it's going to be really damn close. So and ultimately, I think, while I do believe Shanahan, while I said all those negative things, he does have that very innovative style offense, which Seattle has struggled to stop. Pete Carroll, as much as I don't like to admit to anything that you say is correct, our offense is, compared to the likes of what Shanahan does, is not as cutting edge. Not as gimmicky. It doesn't have all these shifting parts like a magician doing a sleight of hand trick. Seattle just kind of lines up and says, okay, here's what we're going to do. Let's see if you can stop us. And Russell Wilson likes to kind of take that and say, here's the plan. Oh, no, the plan's falling apart. Let's just find some other way to throw this ball into the corner of the end zone and hit Tyler Lockett with an amazing, impossible catch for a touchdown. So we do it differently. But I think it is going to come down to those key factors: Russell Wilson, George Kittle, and really the likes of the entire Seattle defense. If we can solve our pass rush problems and maintain some level of healthiness, and our own tight end department, I've been saying all along, I think our tight ends, if we can stay relatively healthy this year, I think that will put us over the top. So I guess that's where we all stand at this point as far as It's going to be close, though. It's going to be fun to watch, for sure. And I hope to God I get to be in the building for those. So we'll see. Rohan, do you have any last words you want to add to counter, since you are the minority in this group, in terms of you're outnumbered 3-1 Seahawks fans to a 49er fan? Do you have any last words of rebuttal, closing arguments you'd like to say as to why you think the audience watching right now, why the 49ers will be the team that walks away in the NFC West? After everything you've heard here, I'll give you the floor for one last chance to argue your point, your argument, sir. You're muted. I can't hear you.
Right. Okay. You guys can hear me now?
You can hear you now, yes.
Okay. Do I want to start with the offensive side or the defensive side? Okay, I'm going to start with the defense. So the 49ers won't just be replacing DeForest Buckner with Javon Kinlaw. If you remember last year when the 49ers played Seattle in Week 17, for example, their defensive line was 3 guys and a graveyard. The rest of their defense, not much different. This year, a lot of their defense is going to come back healthier, such as D Ford, DJ Jones, who they didn't have in the last game last year, and his presence was really missing the Super Bowl. He will be back to run over whatever center Seattle has. Quan Alexander is going to be healthy. He's him and Fred Warner in coverage is probably the best possible combination of coverage linebackers you could ask for, throwing in Dre Greenlaw as well to ruin all the hopes and dreams of Seattle like he did last year, once and almost twice if that kicker can make the freaking field goal. On top of that, our offense, we don't just have George Kittle. Yes, he is by far the best player on our offense, but he's if you guys could stop him, you guys also have to stop Deebo Samuel as well. You have to stop Mostert as well. Shanahan's smart. He'll find a way to create misdirection, find a way to exploit mismatches, and there are a lot of them with Seattle's defense. So that's the offensive side of the ball. See, back to what was I saying?
You already covered the defense, so you've already done both sides of the ball. What else?
I'm going to Seattle's side now. Seattle, maybe when you guys learn to stop running these playbooks from so many years ago, it might help. You might want to try this thing called nickel defense. I've heard that a lot of other teams are using it, mainly because it helps stop passing offenses. You guys can keep running base all the time. It makes me very happy to see that you guys still haven't gotten out of the past.
I do believe Seattle. Just to throw a little monkey wrench in your argument there, I do believe Seattle has acknowledged their lack of using the nickel defense, and they will be looking at that. Thank God. So I think there might be some changes there on the third down defensive side of the ball for the Seahawks. Just saying. I'm not in the coaching staff. I have seen it mentioned publicly that they are reassessing that situation. So we'll see. We'll see how they use nickel. I think that would be probably a smart move, given what kind of offenses they're going to be facing here in the NFC West. Continue. Wrap it up, though. We got some trivia to get to. So let's go.
Okay. Also, you guys might want to consider running more than just the same one coverage over and over and over again every single play. And on the offensive side of the ball, you guys could use at least some creativity in your play calling. You guys do the same thing over and over again. It's like run, pass every single time.
Wait, hold on.
Go ahead, Cal.
So, I'm not hearing anything of substance. We're talking about all these things that we've done in the past. Next season is going to be a new year. Who's to say that we're going to continue doing what hasn't worked for us?
Y'all have the same coordinators. Y'all have the same coordinators. You'll have the same coordinators last year, and even when you guys have switched coordinators in the previous few years, you guys keep running the same stuff you did before. So why would I expect that itself to change?
Okay, that makes sense. But I don't see why Brian Schottenheimer would say, let's expand DK Metcalf's route tree and not use DK Metcalf on the passing game. But let's put that aside real quick. You didn't address the secondary. Last season, your guys' defense, the weak point of the defense was the secondary. This offseason, the secondary got worse. So what about the secondary?
Secondary got worse? They didn't lose anyone, not particularly.
You guys didn't lose anyone, but Richard Sherman got a year older, and he was already showing signs of decline. So you guys didn't get better, so you guys therefore got worse.
They got enough pieces around Richard Sherman to still be good. Emmanuel Mosley was good when he played last year. I can't understand why the 49ers kept putting Akella Witherspoon in. He was literally burnt toast. He was kind of the only reason Seattle was able to come back and score those 2 touchdowns. You had Jimmy Ward and Tart in the secondary. They'll both, assuming they're both healthy, that is one of the better safety tandems of the league. And even outside of those guys, you got K'Wan Williams in the slot. He's a slot god, dude. They have talent in the secondary. Sherman may be getting older. They hired a new defensive coordinator. Supposedly he might help with the 49ers man coverage woes. So we'll see how that goes too.
James Watson, I want to say he got a little drop the mic in the super chat. Thanks for your support. Noah, we're wrapping this topic up. I want to let you get one last little shot in there. Noah, anything to add to what you've heard here? Convince me.
I just think, regardless, like you're talking about a lot of stuff that's kind of irrelevant. I feel like regardless, even with all of that stuff going wrong for Seattle, you mentioned it. You kept talking about how close that game was and how Greenlaw barely made the play that won you guys the game. You guys were up 20 points. We hadn't scored in the first half. We didn't have any of our tight ends or running backs, and it still came down to that close of a ball game. You guys didn't have any true tests in the playoffs, but had the seeding been different, I think that's a completely different story. You would have had to go on the road. Seattle would have been at home, and I think that creates a whole new scenario for how the playoffs go down last year. I think Seattle was very close with Green Bay, even without our injuries. And I thought at the end of the season the same thing I think now. And our number one concern was health. That's why we got a running back that played 16 games last year. So we're going to have a chance now to come back more healthy. We have a myriad of tight ends now. I think we have 7 or 8 currently that are playable tomorrow, and I really like that about Seattle. So I really think health was our biggest concern, and I think as long as we stay healthy, San Francisco is going to have a run for their money.
And I just want to add to, you've been harping on, Seattle's been doing the same thing. Well, we haven't been able to do the same thing in a lot of ways because we haven't had tight ends, we haven't had personnel available to even run half the plays we wanted to run. And now I've always said not only is the tight end, the side of the ball for the Seattle, I think, going to be huge this year. Not only have they addressed it, but I would like to think that for the third year in a row, Will Dissly is going to finally, third time's the charm, and he's going to find a way to stay healthy through the whole season. That's going to be huge, being that he's a great blocking tight end first and a great pass catcher second. But add to that, the DK Metcalf, you guys brought it up a little bit. I don't think we can say enough about what DK Metcalf is going to bring in his second year. He could have been a rookie of the year, should have been a rookie of the year candidate with the year that he had, almost 1,000 yards, a few plays here and there that I think he could have made better, and I think he would have just had that much more to add to that first year. But I think he's going to grow tremendously, and I think the bond that he and Russell Wilson have, we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg, and he was really starting to take off as the season went along. So, yes, you can argue, well, you're running the same overall philosophy, and you're not going to suddenly reinvent your team with the same personnel, but when you have... It's all about the talent that plays those positions. And sometimes when we just don't even not have talent, we don't have human beings in those positions to even run half of those schemes, like a double tight end set. Those being able to have personnel who can just run those plays, all of a sudden now you have better players, one, who are healthy, and two, you got a Greg Olsen and a Will Dissly, double tight end set going back and forth. You've got DK Metcalf, a better player than he was last year. You can run the same schemes, and now we will actually be running them better because the talent who's running those positions are better. It's not just about the scheme. You got to have the talent to play those, and I think we will finally at least start the season off with that, and DK Metcalf will right off the chute be better than he was last year. So it's not all about just pointing out, here's what you do, but it's about who's running the plays. And of course, when it all comes down to it, Jimmy G, Russell Wilson, and Got to tip the scale, baby. Russell Wilson every day. Bet on Russell Wilson every day, twice on Sunday. All right. So I get the last word because this is my show. So we are going to go into our
Carlos Hyde and
trivia.
healthy do not go together. Just saying. Carlos Hyde and healthy do not go together.
Well, fortunately, we don't need Carlos Hyde alone to be healthy. We are doing this by committee, and I think we will be better than we were last year because last year we had 0 by the time we played.
Y'all couldn't use injuries last year when you played us as an excuse. You guys can't use it this year either.
Not using it as an excuse because despite all that, we still almost got it done. But
The
it's going to be
49ers
different.
had just as many injuries to meaningful players as you guys did.
That's why I say it's going to be close. But proof is in the pudding. Noah, did you have something you wanted to add?
Oh, just that Carlos Hyde played 2 16-game seasons in his career.
And every year he was with the Niners except for maybe that last year, he was injured like every other game or something.
Seems like a
Not a
Niners,
big reason why the 49ers let him go, right?
seems like a Niners strength and training coach kind of deal.
I'd have to agree.
Well, and I hope Seattle made some changes there too, because we didn't exactly have a great track record for ours. So,
Right.
all right, let's get to some trivia. Rohan, you said earlier before the show started that you might leave before this point because you did very well in past trivia contests.
Yes.
You were aided, I assume, by some technology. You're a very technical guy. You're going into computer science or something, right? Isn't that what you're going into?
Yes.
So something tells me that you didn't win those competitions by sheer knowledge of Seahawks football.
Chance. I barely know anything about football history. There's no way I would win a trivia contest based on sheer knowledge.
So how did you do it? How did you? And what was? Give us the insider's tip for how you won this.
All right. So it's to say it's very beneficial when you own 3 cell phones. So I had one cell phone where I could watch your screen, the live stream. I had one cell phone where I was playing the Kahoot on. And I had another cell phone where I could just look up any question that you asked. That's why the true and false ones were so annoying because like those questions were impossible to look up.
Well, I guess this will make you happy. This will not be a true-false game. Rohan, you do not have the benefit of even 2 cell phones. You have 1 phone and nothing to look up. So you're going to have to. We're going to get to see your true knowledge come shining in on this panel discussion.
Right.
So you're going to participate whether you like it or not. All right. So we are going to do this thing, guys. You guys ready to do this? You guys ready to do this Kahoot trivia challenge? All right, let's do this.
Yes,
here we go, guys. Get your Kahoots ready. This is going to be a challenge that is all about Seahawks opponent trivia. A little twist on things. All right, here we go. Let's get the screen up here. Let's do this. Here is the number. 708-5404. If you are playing. Dukes of Hazzard in the super chat says Rohan, go on, get. Nah, you gotta stick around so we can try to humiliate you. All right, people are jumping on. We got 10 players. We're gonna try to reach 50, maybe even 60. 16 players. We got Lil Beast, That Dude, Flight, Seahawks, something Grizz Fan 37, Dirt Pig, Ray in Des Moines, Dangerous, Harper Elliott, Eddie 84, Cameron Hughes, Super 55 Chat, Big Turus, Patriots Martin. We got all kinds of Martins. So we have 49ers Martin, Patriots Martin. Too funny. We are missing Seahawks Martin today. He had piano lesson. He couldn't join us. So while he's tickling the ivories, we'll be tickling our trivia contest right here. Oh, Seahawks Martin is watching those. Martin, I hope you play along. You could join this. You're not on the panel, so you can join the game. 50 players now. We'll get you 20 more seconds to join in. Chased Space 179. Robo back in the house. Norb is amazing. Thank you very much. Chrysostamo is in the house. Big Trust. I already said that. Big Trust. Anthony D, what's up? Let's see if we get more than 3 this time. Green Mobsta playing. Farhad. We have 54 players. 10 seconds. It's Amanda in the house. What's up, Amanda? 5 seconds. Can we break the 60 mark? 55 players now in the house. Ballhawks 27. 5, 4, 57 players. 58. 3. Broncos Martin. Martin, you're starting a new trend. Everybody's taking your name and putting a different team in front of it. It's fill in the blanks, Martin. Trump in the house. Wouldn't that be funny? Imagine Trump actually on his phone. He's not tweeting. He's actually on Kahoot. We're getting ready to play some NorbCam opponent trivia.
You probably wouldn't even know what Kahoot is.
NorbCam.
All right, 58 players. We're going to wrap it up in 3, 2, 1. All right. We are starting this. Ready? All right, so Rohan, you're going to have to just listen and try to do this the old-fashioned way. Use your brain. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Kahoot is starting now. Again, this is Seahawks opponent trivia. 12 questions, double points for the last 3 answers. Here we go. Question number 1. How many catches did Jimmy Graham have in the 2019 playoff loss to the Packers? 3, 4, 5, or 6? How many catches did Jimmy Graham have in the 2019 playoff loss last year? 3, 4, 5, or 6? This is Jimmy Graham's. How many receptions did he have? 3 seconds. Time is up. Look at that. Most of YouTube got this one. They said 24. They got and guessed 4. If you thought 4, that was correct. Rohan, what did you guess?
4.
You got it. Okay. Now you got to be honest with me because there's a trust factor in here because only you can tell me what the real answer was. All right. So Rohan says he got the first one. Calvin.
Wait a minute.
Awesome.
Did you say he had 4? You says that what the correct answer was?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Wait, hold up. I'm gonna look. I just looked this up and put it in my phone. He has 3. He got 3.
Really?
But didn't you say 4?
Yeah, I said 4. I said 4. I only looked it up after I said it.
Oh.
He got 3.
Really?
Yeah.
I messed that up again.
Well, I said 3.
Okay. Well, I
4
can't.
targets. He had 4 targets, but he had 3 catches.
Okay. All right. Well, this is what we're going to do. I can't change the Kahoot, so I apologize to the audience, although majority of YouTube got that one incorrectly right. So good to you for being off. So you guys get the benefit. We will play this to the truth of the matter. So, Rohan, we're going to play this one because we've proved that I was wrong. I had the wrong number in there. Sorry about that. So we're going to go with 3. So, Rohan, you said it was 4, so I'm not going to give you the point.
Yeah, fair enough.
Let's go on the truth here. So, Calvin, what did you get?
I said 4. I kind of thought I remembered the stat line.
I
know you made
too.
a minimal impact, but yeah, I said 4. I guess I'm wrong.
I thought it was
Wasn't
4
he
too.
the one who had the first down to put you guys away, though?
Yeah, that was the final one to put us away. I thought it was 4, but okay. Noah, you had 3?
Bro, Rohan is like that one kid that asked the teacher, "Hey, teacher, what about the homework?" Like how you just you made yourself wrong. Like I appreciate the honesty, but that's super funny.
That is funny.
Yeah.
So Noah, you guessed it right.
I did. I said 3. I was like, Nor's trying to trick us. It's the smallest one.
I'm not. Well, I apologize. I messed that one up. I'll make it up to you guys. All right, let's go to the scoreboard here. Sorry. Hopefully the rest of these answers are correct. Let's go to the scoreboard and see how we line up after this blunder by NorbCam. We got TJ Wilborn 1. Oh, hey, he's back in first place. Kivo in second. Colin the Bot Boy in third. 49ers Martin in fourth. And Lamar Jackson bringing up the rear in fifth. Let's go to the next question. Question number 2. What was Carlos Hyde's most rushing yards in a game versus the Seahawks? Was it 101, 113, 124, or 142? Carlos Hyde's most rushing yards in a game versus the Seahawks. 101, 113, 124, or 142? You have 3 seconds. Time is up. Ooh, look at that. YouTube getting this one right. If you said 124, you were correct. 29 of you got this correct. Rohan, you're a 49ers fan. Tell me you knew this one.
Yes, I did. I know which game it was, too.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Calvin. Did you get
I tend
this?
to go too high. And so this time around, I kind of want to be a little more conservative. So I said 124. And I ended up getting it right.
All right, Calvin's on the board with one here. Noah?
I'll say 124. I'm like, he's not going to do blue twice.
Hey, man. You never know. You never know. All right, so Noah.
Plus, you never randomize your answer choices too. That would help a lot if we're being honest.
Oh. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Disrespect. Throwing shade.
All right, Noah with 2, Calvin with 1, Rohan with 1. Let's see how the scoreboard shakes out in YouTube land. Here we go. TJ Wilburn 1, staying on top at 1803 with a narrow 3-point lead with LML in the 305 in second. Lamar Jackson moves up to third. Brandon Rogers on the board at fourth. And Go Deep DK Metcalf in fifth place. Let's go to the next question. 39 spaces. Martin Sucks is the highest climber, moves up 39 spaces. Be nice, you guys. Be nice out there. Come on now. Jeez. Here we go. Next question. How many turnovers did the 49ers have in the 2013 NFC Championship? Is it 2, 3, 4, or 5? Turnovers by the 49ers in the 2013 NFC Championship. 2, 3, 4, or 5? You have 3 seconds. Time is up. Once again, YouTube in unison getting this one correct. 30 of you out there, majority, said it was 3, and you were right. Rohan, I intentionally put a lot of 49er questions here because I wanted to test your knowledge as a guest to see how well you did. What'd you get?
I got 3. Let me guess. It was the Bennett fumble recovery, Chancellor interception, and Sherman intercept. And it was Malcolm Smith who had the interception, right? Those were the 3.
Very good. Calvin?
I said 4.
Oh! What was the 4th one?
I don't know.
I know what that was. I know there was one other that the 49ers have, but yeah.
Well, there was a lot of stuff that went weird in the 49ers end of the field in that one crazy. I know what you're talking about. Noah, how about you? Did you get this one?
I remember the 3 that you guys were talking about, and I was like, I gotta be forgetting at least one, so I said 4. But
I know. I thought the same thing because there were some times when the ball came out. Seattle had a couple. Russell Wilson fumbled early.
The 49ers should have had more than just what they had. Like
that was a very weird deal where the on the play where what's his name, the linebacker got his leg mangled. Bowman, because he did end up with that ball, and somehow the rest ruled that for the Seahawks. That was a pretty bizarre play, but as it turns out, it turned out the way it turned out. Let's go see how the scoreboard turns out here after that question. Oh, we've got a new number 1. LML in the 305 moves up to first place. Lamar Jackson up to second. Lil Beast 22111 moves to third. Tyler Greaves on the board on the 4th. And Green Mobster enters the top 5. And up 15 places, King of Kings, climbing fast. Here's the next question. Question number 4. How many yards did Lamar Jackson rush for in their victory against the Seahawks last season? Was it 127, 143, 158, or 169? How many yards did Lamar Jackson rush for against the Seahawks last season? 127, 143, 158, or 169? 3 seconds. Time is up. Oh, fooled some of you on that one this time. If you guess 143, you would be correct. 23 of you guys thought it was 127. Yeah, he ran for 143 yards in that crazy game. Rohan is the guest. You get to go first again. What was your answer?
I just went with the lowest one. Because
I don't mix up my answers enough, right? That's why you went for that one. You got me figured out.
Oh yeah, and if anything, you want to know what else you got? You said how many rushing yards, right? Right. Yeah, none of those answers are correct.
What are you talking about?
He had 116 rushing yards.
What?
He had 143 throwing yards.
You sure about that?
Yep, I'm sure.
He had
Let me double check.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up.
Go ahead.
Oh, actually, yeah.
That's what I meant. I meant rushing. I meant throwing yards.
No.
Man, I'm having a off day today. Must have been that stressful last minute thing. Okay, well.
Who can remember that game anyways? We've just drained it from our memory. Like, we don't want to see Earl winning in Seattle, not for Seattle.
I need to have somebody else do these cahoots for me. I'm like sucking on this one. Man, I think 2 for 2, getting them wrong. Okay, well. We're just gonna keep playing along here. So let's. Well, you know what?
How do you want to?
We're gonna just wipe that for the panel. I can't do anything about the coop, so I apologize. But for the panel, we're just gonna, since there is not the correct answer on there, we're just gonna skip this question for the gang, and we'll just move on to the next one. The coot land. I apologize to everybody in the coot. That was my bad. You guys probably got that one. You would have been closer to the right ones because you guys who said 23 actually were closer to the right answer. So my apologies. I will do better next time. I promise. Okay, let's go see how the scoreboard shakes up after that crazy mess. That's a lot of yardage, man. He almost ran for more than he passed. That's crazy. Martin Sucks moves to first place. LML into 305 in second. Lamar Jackson, who we just talked about, in third. Grizzfan 37 in fourth. And Lil Beast 2111 in fifth. All right, let's see if I can get better on this next question. I think I did. Here, let's find out here. Question number 5, for crying out loud. How many touchdowns did Deshaun Watson throw in the shootout game versus the Seahawks? 2, 3, 4, or 5? How many touchdowns did Deshaun Watson throw in the shootout game versus the Hawks? 2, 3, 4, or 5? Deshaun Watson, touchdowns against the Seahawks. Most of you got this right. It was 4 touchdowns. 28 of you out in YouTube land got this correct. Let's see how the panel did on this one. Rohan.
Yep, I got 4.
Calvin.
So I remember it was either Russ or Deshaun threw. One of them threw for 5, the other threw for 4. I just assumed that Russ threw for 5, so Deshaun threw for 4.
All right, you got it. So Noah, what you got?
I just guessed 4.
Lucky guess. All right, when in doubt, right? When in doubt, pick C. Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. Let's see the scoreboard. Martin Sucks hangs on to number 1. Grizzfan 37 gets to second. Lamar Jackson staying at third. Tyler Greaves to fourth. And 49ers Martin moves into the top 5. Look at that. We have Martin. Martin, you're so popular. Everybody wants to be you. And you got 2 of you on the scoreboard. 20 places. Zoe moving up in trying to get onto the podium. Here we go. Next question. How long was the field goal missed by Blair Walsh in the frozen playoff game versus the Vikings in 2015? Was it an 18-yarder, 21-yarder, 25-yarder, or a 27-yarder? How long was the field goal missed by Blair Walsh in that ice game against the Vikings? 18, 21, 25, or 27?
You can't even
have 3
have any
seconds. Time is up, and most of you guys got that correct. 25 guessed that correct answer. It was a 27-yard field goal miss. Let's go to our panel. Rohan.
Bad memories. Yep, I got 27 yards.
All right, Rohan with the lead so far. Calvin.
I remember it being a chit shot, so I went with the lowest number. I said 18.
You can't even have an 18-yard field goal.
I just knew it was real bad, so I just said.
Actually, if the ball's at the 1-yard line,
it's a 19-yard field goal.
I thought the 18 is the shortest. I thought you could have an 18-yard field goal because if you have the ball on the 1, they snap it back 7 yards. It's on the 8-yard line. Add 10 becomes 18. I think you can have an 18-yard field goal.
No, it's plus 18 from the yard line. So in order for it to be an 18-yard field goal, they had to kick it it have to be at the goal line.
That should be debated.
Would be a touchdown.
I think 18 is the smallest one you can get. But sorry, Calvin, you were off by a little bit there. Noah.
Yeah, the numbers have a little bit of significance to me because those are my first 2 basketball numbers, 2 and 7, and it's in my original email, so I remember the 27.
All right, so Noah, you and Rohan are tied. Calvin with 4 points. Calvin with 2. Dukes of Hazzard said it all. Norb, no more drinky drink while editing trivia.
No more.
I wish I could blame it on alcohol. That would actually be a better excuse. I really don't have an excuse. The only excuse that I could have is that I was in a hurry. I was like Calvin, trying to get ready for the show. It's always a last minute scramble. So that's my excuse.
I was literally scrambling.
You were scrambling. You were jogging down the path looking for a bench to sit at and found a dead squirrel bench to sit, which is a good find. Let's go to the scoreboard.
Found a softball field.
Here we go. Here's the scoreboard. GrizzFan37 moves to number 1. Lamar Jackson up to 2nd. 49ers Martin moves up to the 3rd spot. Tyler Greaves hanging on in 4th. And Dangerous moves into the top 5. Anthony D moving up 11 places, trying to get on the podium. Next question. Question number 7. Who scored the last touchdown for the Packers in the divisional game last year? Was it Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones, Jimmy Graham, or Tyler Ervin? Which Packers player scored the last touchdown in that divisional game against the Packers? Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones, Jimmy Graham, or Tyler Ervin? You have 3 seconds. Time is up. Most of you guys got this one correct. Yeah, it's hard to forget a name like Devontae Adams was like the only name you kept hearing about throughout the broadcast. Devontae Adams this, Devontae Adams that. Yes, 25 of you got that correct. Rohan.
Yep, the guy from my hometown.
Oh.
Devontae Adams.
Your hometown of?
Palo Alto, California.
Is that where you live now?
Nope. Los Altos Hills, California.
Okay.
Which is basically right next to Palo Alto.
Okay, all right. Calvin.
I said Devontae. Was it that, I think when he burned Trey Flowers on that like 40, 50-yard touchdown, that was the last touchdown, right?
Yeah.
No way you can forget something like that.
It's hard to forget that. Noah.
Well, I forgot, but I just remembered that, like, I remember Devontae. It was between Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones for me because I'm like, Jimmy Graham had 3 catches. Like, he didn't, it wasn't him. And I did go Devontae Adams because I remember his touchdown, whereas did Aaron Jones score in that game?
He did. He scored early. I think he had a couple.
Okay, but yeah, I went with Devontae and got lucky.
Oh, you did? Okay, all right. So you're maintaining. Noah and Rohan tied with 5 points and Calvin with 3, hanging in there. We still got double trouble down in the last 3 questions. Let's go to the scoreboard, see how things shake up. Not a couple of moves here. GrizzFan37 hanging on with a sizable lead. 49ers Martin in 2nd, Tyler Greaves in 3rd. Martin sucks back on the podium or back on the top 5 at 4th, and Dirt Pig, a newbie, to the top 5 with 47.68. Let's go to the next question. Question number 8. What was the final score of the last regular season game versus the 49ers last year? Was it 24-20, 26-21, 21-17, or 26-22? Final score of that final game against the Niners last year. 24-20, 26-21, 21-17, or 26-22? Time is up. Oh, YouTube has a good memory. 27 of you guys guessed 26-21. That is the correct answer. Of course, the touchdown would have given the Seahawks the win. 26-21. Rohan, I would think you would know this one, but tell me if you did.
Obviously, I would know that one.
Okay. Calvin.
Well, it broke my heart. And so, again, that's just something you don't forget. So I said 26-21.
All right. Calvin stays pace with it. Noah, did you stay on track with this one?
I did, but it wasn't because I didn't forget, because I definitely forgot the score. I forget all of our losing scores except for the Super Bowl. But I looked at this, I'm like, you put 26 twice with 1 point difference. I'm like, we didn't have no 22 points, so I went 26-21, and it worked.
Good deduction there, sir. Let's see if let's see what happened in the YouTube world. Most of you got this correct. Let's see what the change is. Not much. GrizzFan37, strong lead. 49ers Martin in 2nd. Tyler Greaves in 3rd. Dirt Pig moves up to 4th. And Andrew P. gets into the top 5 with us a few more questions to go. Here we go. Next question. Question number 9. What was the final score of the last game Colin Kaepernick played against the Hawks?
know that answer
27-21,
already.
25-23, 31-20, or 34-17. Kaepernick's last game against the Hawks. 27-21, 25-23, 31-20, or 34-17. Time is up. Oh, pretty tight spread, but if you said 25-23, you got the right answer. 13 of you guys in YouTube got that one. To be honest, when I even thought about this question, I had no clue. I knew we'd won, but I did not remember how tight it was. Rohan, you seem pretty confident.
Yep. I remember that. It was New Year's Day of 2017, right?
It was.
As 49ers fans, we will celebrate that day as the end of Jed York's idiocy era.
Pretty close game, though, all things considered. Calvin, what'd you have?
I said 31-20. I just knew that the Niners weren't very good back then, and so I thought
we were 2-14. We lost 13 games in a row that year.
Yep. And we didn't win by much in that game, sadly. But Calvin thought it was the blowout. It was not, even though it seemed like it would have been. Noah, how was your memory on this game?
Oh, it was bad. So I was thinking like, okay, so he's trying to bait us with the 27-21, right, the championship game. And I'm like, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure we played against him after, but I didn't remember which score, so I just went with 27-21. And
man, Rohan with the lead with 7 points, Noah with 6, and Calvin with 4. Let's go to the scoreboard here as we get close to the wrap here, the final stretch where the points mean double trouble. Here we go. Here's the scoreboard. 49ers Martin moves up to first. GrizzFan 37 drops to second. Tyler Greaves to third. Dirt Pig at fourth. And Danger Russ gets on the board at number 5. 3 players have reached the answer streak of 5 now. As we enter, I believe now we are into the double points set here. But before I do that, Wolf Set 45 in the Super Chat says, I was at the Seahawks versus Eagles playoff game in Philadelphia. Eagles fans did not like me because I had a Clowney jersey on after they hit on Wentz. I don't think I'll ever go to an Eagles game again.
Good choice.
Probably, at least not in the near future, and probably not wearing that jersey. All right, let's go to the next question. Question number 10, we are into the double points section where all things can change. What was the highest quarterback rating ever achieved by Jimmy Garoppolo as a 49ers starting quarterback? 127.3, 138.9, 145.8, or 151.2? Jimmy G's highest ever quarterback rating as a starting QB. 127.3, 138.9, 145.8, or 151.2? Time is up. Oh, most of you did not get this one. This is a little tricky. We don't usually talk about quarterback ratings. Only 6 of you got this one right. If you said 145.8, that would be the correct answer. Rohan, again, I was catering to you as a guest of my show because I think you're all right, even though you have the wrong colors on most of the time. What did you guess on this one?
I guessed that exact answer. I know what game it was, too.
Tell me.
It was the first blowout versus the Packers last year.
That's correct. Yes, that's right. Against the Packers in 2019. 145.8 passer rating. Calvin.
I said 151.2 because I remember in both games against Arizona last season, I think he threw for 4 touchdowns and 0 picks in both games.
No, he threw for 2 picks the second game.
Oh, so it was the first game where he had 4-0?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So pretty good, but not as good as that performance against the Packers. Noah.
I don't study Jimmy Garoppolo like that. I guess 138. I was wrong. But how many phones you got over there, Rohan? How many phones we got on us right now?
1. I just got the one.
Stats pretty quick. All right,
I just got 1 phone on me.
I gotta say, man, Rohan, you do know your 49er stuff. You do know your 49er history. That's pretty good. So after
I was horrible with 49ers history. That's the weird thing.
Well, I'm sticking to mostly recent history, so I'm not going back to the 80s
You go back to the 80s and 90s, I won't know anything. Just keep it within the 21st century.
Yeah, so like I said, I was trying to be nice to you for some reason on this show. So the scoreboard after the double question, Rohan jumps way ahead with 9 points, Noah at 6, and Calvin with 4. Still an opportunity to come back, gentlemen. They're going to have to do it in the next 2 questions. Here we go. YouTube scoreboard coming up right here. After the double point question. Not much change, actually. 49ers Martin still on top. Grizz Fan 37 in second. Tyler Greaves holding on in third. Andrew P. moves up to fourth. And Dirt Pig bringing up the rear at fifth. Still close enough. Enough time to possibly shift the momentum. We'll see. 2 more questions to go. Here we go. Question number 11. Makeup call right here. Which quarterback played the most seasons for the Hawks? Dave Craig, Jim Zorn, Matt Hasselbeck, or Russell Wilson? Who played the most seasons for the Hawks? Dave Craig, Jim Zorn, Matt Hasselbeck, or Russell Wilson? This is a makeup call, and I'll explain for those of you who don't know. Who played the most seasons for the Hawks? Craig, Zorn, Hasselbeck, Wilson. And actually, not as many as I thought. 11 of you guessed it right. Dave Craig. This is a question from a previous Kahoot because I'd messed up the answer. So I tossed it back in. For those of you who remembered and got it right, this was sort of like my makeup for screwing it up. I'm going to have to do 2 more of this for next future ones because I screwed up 2 questions earlier. Yes, it was Dave Craig. Played from 1980 to 1991. So, Rohan, I threw a curveball at you. I went old school and not 49ers. Did you know this one?
No, I don't even know who half the names on here are. The only 2 names I know on here are Hasselbeck and Wilson.
I know how to stump you next time. Just get out of this era before you were born. Okay, Calvin.
Don't worry. Next time I'm going to have 3 phones. And even this time I figured out a way to search up the answers with just 1 phone. I just figured out.
Whoa. I told you. I can see it in the FBI glass.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to give you too much credit for thinking that you just know everything that you know. Well, Calvin, what you got?
Well, I got it wrong last time, and there was no way I was getting it wrong this time, so I said Dave Craig.
Okay. So Calvin moves up, gets 6 points there. Noah?
I got it. I remember.
All right, so after that question, Rohan has 9, Noah with 8, and Calvin with 6. Anything can happen here in the final stretch. Let's see what happened with the scoreboard coming up right here. Oh, massive changes at the top. Dirt Pig moves all the way up to number 1. Dangerous moves to number 2. 49ers Martin drops to 3rd. Grizz Fan to 4th. And Tyler Greaves all the way down to 5th. The swing of the pendulum here with the double
That's
question.
The competition I like to see.
That's the double jeopardy. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Now, of course, a final question. Yes, I said this was going to be about Seahawks opponents. Well, I lied. There is one question here that, of course, is slightly Norb-centric, but it does have to do with opponents. Let's go to the final double jeopardy question right here. Question number 12. Double points. What Little League team did we play in the Kingdom game where I scored a touchdown? Was it the Rainier Ravens, the Federal Way Hawks, the Kent Knights, or the Benson Bruins? The Rainier Ravens, Federal Way Hawks, Kent Knights, or Benson Bruins? The team that I scored a touchdown against in my very first game in the Kingdom. As I expected, a curveball, a nasty slider. Only 6 of you guessed this one correct. It was the Benson Bruins. If you'd seen my video, I bet Martin would have gotten this one because he knows this video like the back of his hand. Unfortunately, Martin is not here to answer that question. Let's see how our guest did here with first place on the line, Rohan.
I somehow guessed and I got it right.
No way. Just by luck.
That's the only one that sounds like an actual team name.
These are all legit team names, by the way. I didn't make these up like some kind of, pulling out of my butt or something. These are actual teams that we could have played. But congratulations to you, man. You got it right. Let's go to Calvin.
I had no clue, so I just guessed and went with Rainier Ravens.
Sorry, man. I know it's not fair, but hey, it gives people just a chance by being lucky. Noah, Any chance you got lucky on this one?
I guess Federal Way.
It had the Hawks in there, right? Might have thrown you subconsciously. Well, so that puts sad to say it, but our guest Rohan finished at first with 11 points, Noah in second with 8, and Calvin in third with 6. So congratulations, Rohan. You were not only the first 49ers fan to co-host the show on NorbCam, you're also the winner. Not only winner of last week's trivia, you won it again this time with only one phone that you were cheating with. So that's
Yeah.
that is still a somewhat impressive feat. All right, let's go to the YouTube audience. Let's see how the top 3 finished out and who's going to be either co-hosting the show next time or getting some Seahawks or NorbCam swag. Here we go. The top 3 right now. In third place with 89.37 is Dirt Pig. In second place with 91.51, Martin Sucks. And in first place with 10,006 points, answering 9 out of 12 questions, is Dangerous. Dangerous, of course, it's Russell Wilson. Dangerous always knows how to finish a game. More fourth quarter, come from behind victories. And
okay, well, technically, he doesn't know how to finish every game. I mean, we can go back to the 1 yard line jokes.
I didn't say every game, but he has a lot. He has a lot of them, a lot more than most quarterbacks, and a lot more than Jimmy Garoppolo does.
Yes.
All right,
although Garoppolo has barely any starting experience compared to us.
We won our first Super Bowl. He lost his first Super Bowl. So, all right. Fair enough. All righty. Well, congratulations to Dangerous. Take a screenshot of your winning Kahoot screen there, and then send me an email, norb@norbcam.com, and we'll connect, figure out how we want to get you either on the show or get you some NorbCam or Seahawks swag coming at you. So, congratulations to Dangerous for winning, and I see him in the chat already cheering it up. Let's go! Yes, congratulations. So, at this point, I just want to, I got to thank our guest for being here. Let me start with Rohan as he's walking, crunching rocks along the way. Congratulations again on the win, Rohan. And just to tell, this is the time of the show where I always like to give the guests a little opportunity to tell them about yourselves and where they can find your videos or social media. So Rohan, at Mind of Laliette on Instagram. What else would you like to say? The floor is yours. Tell the people about who you are and where they can find you.
That's probably the only place you're going to find me, since I'm not about to plug any more social media handles. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he must have put it in the description, because you barely even mentioned it all call, and somehow some of your Seahawks fans are already following me.
It is in description. It's also on the screen the entire time while you guys are talking. So
I can't even see it there.
Yeah, it's there. It's there. So there you go. So if you want to look up his stuff, Mind of Laliette, that is Rohan, 49ers fan, and a regular guest on this show. So congratulations again, Rohan. If you don't mind, since you're going to be rocking, it sounds like you're walking on cracked eggs or something. If you want muting your phone while I get our guests an opportunity to talk about their shows, I'm going to go to Calvin Domingo. Always a regular on Wednesday shows, but he's got his stuff going on his own channel as well as with Noah. So Calvin, go tell the audience a little bit about where they can find you.
Yes, sir. So Noah and I, we do a radio show every single Saturday. I'm gonna let him get into that. So as you guys may know, I'm Calvin Domingo. That handle that you guys see on the screen, Steezy_way, that's my Instagram. So be sure to, hit me with a little follow on there. I might follow back, who knows. And then for YouTube, Noah and I, we both do YouTube videos. Noah's been doing it a little longer, but he posts daily videos. You can find him at DJ Squabo, DJ SQUABO. Drops a video every single morning. So if you're an early bird, that's definitely some content that you could look at every single day. As for me, I post weekly videos in the world of sports. Just dropped one a couple days ago. Our links will be in the description, so be sure to show some love. Last but not least, always a pleasure for having us on the show, Norb. I can't thank you enough. If you guys haven't subscribed to his channel, please sub to his channel before you sub to any of our channels. He's the only reason why we're on here, so yeah, shout out Norb.
All right, man. My pleasure to always. I love having you guys on here. So, last but certainly not least, Noah, go ahead and close out the show and tell the audience out there where they can find you and what you're all about.
Yes, shout out to Norb, man. We love you. Appreciate you very much. So every Saturday we talk sports, myself and Calvin, from 10 to 1 on the KGRG app. We broadcast it on the radio. We're local college students that broadcast sports. We're aspiring sports analysts. If you can tune in live, you can do so with the KGRG app from 10 to 1 on Saturdays. Or if you miss it, we upload all of our links to SoundCloud. The link is in the description below. Go follow that. You can get all of our podcasts forever. We started live streaming the show on YouTube last week. And we're doing a fantasy league this year for our fans with everyone involved. We decided to go to 16 teams. We have one spot left available. If you want to be a part of the fantasy league with Norb, Calvin, myself, as well as a whole bunch of other really talented Seahawks Martins in there. The Seahawks one, not the 49ers though. So if you want to be a part of that league, you have to DM me on Instagram right now because there's only one spot left, and we're not going any bigger than 16 teams.
All right. Yes, we talked about this a couple shows ago. Yes, I'm taking the leap and jumping into fantasy football for the first time ever. I'm very excited, very nervous about it, but I feel like I'm in good company with some of the friends I've gotten to make, not just the guys you see here, but a lot of people that I've networked with on social media, and I'm looking forward to getting into this. It's going to be a lot of fun, so I'm looking forward to this upcoming season. A bizarre season to be doing it, but who knows? I might be spending a lot more time watching from home than in the stadium, so this gives me something else to do while I'm watching. There was a question from the winner, from Danger Russ. Again, if you want it, I'd love to see your screenshot of your winning name there on the Kahoot, and just email me, norb@norbcam.com. It's on the screen and in the description, but I'll say it right here too, norb@norbcam.com. And yes, thanks again to all my guests for being here. Rohan, 49ers fan, thanks for being here. Noah, of course, Noah Boelter, DJ Squabo, Calvin Domingo at Steezy Way. And most of all, I want to thank you guys, the viewers, for those of you who contributed in the Super Chat. Love you guys. Thank you so much for your support. And everybody else who was just commenting and playing the game and chatting it up. And for those of you who weren't, even if you weren't chatting, even if you weren't playing and we were just watching, I appreciate you guys too. So remember to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, notification bell, all that good stuff. It helps me as well as my guests here with their channels as well. So thank you so much. We'll do this again. We do it every Wednesday afternoon. And sometimes more often when breaking news happens with the Seahawks or in the NFL. So until next time, thanks for watching, and we will talk to you guys next time. Go Hawks.